While in the Army, he had started playing the bugle. Even though he dabbled with the trumpet when he was a teenager, he picked it up again in the military. And he wanted to go back to the San Francisco Bay Area, but also because he wanted to pursue, jazz music because he had a love for jazz and the trumpet. And eventually met my mother in Albany at a nightclub or bar called the Paddock. And
he practiced a lot.
My mother had to raise us and would still work. He would drive to work in a van, and then when it was time for his lunch, he'd go out in the van, parked in the parking lot, and practice the trumpet in his van.
My father would clean and he would cook. And he seemed pretty domesticated,
He seemed to have sentimental memories about working in the fields, doing farm worker stuff with my grandfather, because I think when they were in the Fresno area at the time, they were doing farm working things.
One thing about the fields that happened in later years as they were getting older, there were horrible conditions for the farm workers. And so the farm workers were really trying to advocate for fairness, fair treatment, and fair wages and fair living conditions. And so it was around that time that Cesar Chavez started gathering the farm workers to, strike. So he was at an event and Cesar Chavez would call my dad and say, come over here, get the people's attention. So my dad would play the trumpet to get all the farm workers' attention.
He was a dreamer and he never gave up on anything. He always just kept going forward and always pursued. And I even remember during all these times when we would move and we would be somewhere at a new house or whatever, he always managed to get a band together and have band practice. Neighbors would come and listen in our driveway, and it was like he was the life of every neighborhood. I remember it was a really fun childhood because my brother and my sister know, and we're all really love music. From that, we get that from my dad. And my mom loved music too. He would sing to her and she swooned over his singing. So I remember him being really fun growing up with that. And Nina and I, we were getting bullied at our school. We were both in the 5th and 6th grade. And my father said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play a concert at your school. We'll ask the principal if we can have a little concert in their little theater place. And so my dad brought this funk band over there. It's like a 4 or 5 piece band, and they had the horns and all that. And the kids were just going crazy.
We came instantly cool over that.
He was a genius. There was a lot of other musicians that couldn't read his arrangements. You had to be a really good musician to read his arrangements. But his music was really good. I mean, he did a recording at Fantasy Studios, and I went to that. He also did one at Skywalker Studios, and he was really a genius.
Yes, and actually, he didn't go to composer school, but yet he came up with these original songs and recorded them. And they were actually played on a jazz station here in the Bay Area, KCSM. My dad would play at the famous St. Francis Hotel for a couple of years. He had a following of people 5 nights a week or something.
And the Dock of the Bay and
And I have another example. My dad played in Woodstock. And he played with a lot of famous musicians in the studios too. But one of the bands he played with is Sly and the Family Stone. He was a backup trumpeter for Sister Rose.